Good morning, traders. Welcome back to the live room. Charles has been teasing me. Charles has been teasing me. And I'm tempted. Very, very rarely do you see Charles post on social media. So when he does, you know it's good. And he posted this new chair that came in. The box said secret, so you know I was intrigued. Secret lab, how can you not be intrigued? And I looked into it and I said, you know what, I need a new chair. Mine is getting kind of, you can't really see it, but like it's I've had it for a while. The sitting portion of the chair is starting to kind of peel off as I kind of rummage and shift. So that was, it was on the mind. And then he said how comfy it was. He said there was a black and blue one that fit the tier 1 trading theme. And before you know it, I'm on Google, I'm on their site looking it up. And now ads are all over the place on my computer. Everywhere I go, now I see ads for Secret Lab chairs. George says, aren't you a stander now? Not all the time, no. I stand for the live room only. So I don't stand all day, no. I stand for the live room. I'll typically sit in the morning for my pre-market and all that funny business stuff we got to do. I'll stand for the live room, and then afternoon, depends. Depends. But yeah, darn you, Charles. It's one of those things, I don't need it. But, again, mine's getting kind of old. It's not really an ergonomic chair. So, maybe. Right? Maybe. I just saw Cody on social media. Cody got a new desk for half the price. Bargain deal. All right. So, anyway, welcome back, guys. Happy Fed Day to you. How's everyone doing today? Lat said demo USD hit targets. Happy trade. Woohoo! By the way, standing desk is the best investment I made. I went with a Veridesk, 4 or 5 years ago, which is basically it's a standing desk, but the one that you put on top of a desk. And then about a year ago, I actually invested in just the entire desk, the entire hydraulic desk. My desk has a lift kit, so yeah, it was good. Standing significantly, I'm really big on posture and the things. I've seen firsthand how trading affects you, especially if you're doing it full time like me. One of the greatest books I read was The Winning Edge, where it talked about it was the only book that I remember, one of the only books that really focused on the stuff around trading, and just my posture was getting bad, and really in general. What's funny is I got a friend of mine who does physical therapy, and this generation coming up, they're screwed as far as posture goes. They are screwed, man. You know why? Very simple if you think about it, but it's an easy answer. It's going to be really bad. It'd be funny to see, or interesting to see how we evolve as humans, to look back in 200 years. If we kind of let me get a picture for you real quick. See if I can bring up a picture, an evolution picture. But you guys know why posture is really bad? Aside from low self-esteem, right? You guys ever see? I'm sure all of you guys have seen this picture before, right? Where we go from here to here to here to here to here, right? We're gonna go back to this. Yeah, cell phones. What are we doing all the time? We're always on our phones, right? And we're on our phones. Are they ever at eye level, or are they always kind of down in our hands near underneath the chest, above the belly button level, right? So we're always tilted down. Our back is always rounded. Our shoulders are always forward, looking down at this cell phone. And it's killing us, man. It's killing us. And George says when we get old, we revert back to that anyway. Yeah, so now, right, instead of getting old and going from here to here, when you're old, you're going to go from here back to this. You're going to go back to the original. But yeah, it's you guys know I work with track and field, so it's one of the things we correct all the time, right? I'm really big on biomechanics and how the body moves and all that stuff, and we see I'm just over the years you see so many different posture issues where, shoulders are rounded forward, lower back issues, and it's no coincidence, no coincidence. Um, Nick said, I had an invention idea where kids had a switch that would turn off their computer gaming consoles when their posture went bad. Well, don't they have now those little? I don't believe half what the internet tells me. Right? I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. I know many of you guys are older than me, but I'm getting old. So I'm at that point right now where I don't know whether the internet is true or not. Right? I don't know what to believe or what not to believe on the internet. Right? With all the memes and all the Photoshop, you can basically make anything look real. So I just don't believe anything's true. But they have those things, right? I've seen something where those ads that come up on Instagram, where I swear they're all by the same person. That little deal you put on your back, and it like sends an alert to your phone when your posture goes bad. They have that. I wonder if it sends like an electrical shock. George said Abraham Lincoln said everything on the internet is true. Did you find that on the internet, George? All right. Must be true then. Must be true. Okay. If Honest Abe said it, it must be true. Honest Abe don't lie. But yeah, that'd be cool. I've seen all types of stuff. I've seen like back braces and like at least book bag type of things that do that. It's Cody says there's a condition called selfie wrist. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can believe it. I don't, not necessarily selfie wrist, but like the hooked hand thing from like typing, right? From I try to go through all my Twitter stuff, all my social media stuff at once. It's a little hooked hand. Yeah. We're gonna look. You see it right here, selfie wrist, right on this middle guy. Right on this middle guy. We're going back to it, man. We're going back to it. I got that from the piano. Yeah, the piano. Yeah, piano's bad too. In my 2 years of piano experience, I was good for 1 year. 1 year. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, look, a new creature, guys. It's on the internet. This must be real too. A hybrid. Nice. Anyway, George said I did it for 2 years. Nice. It was funny. I did music production in college. I ran a record label, a non-successful record label. I guess depending on how you define success, we didn't make any money, but it was a successful experience. And I remember the only reason I took that course was that I can go home and make better beats. Only reason you get credit for in college anyway. I took that course so I can go home and make better beats. In our upstart music career that eventually ended. But I was never really good. I just couldn't I didn't have good control over all of my fingers. Half my fingers are broken anyway, so I'm sure that didn't help. Like my middle finger was where my pinky should be and stuff like that from all the football injuries. But yeah, it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. When I get the free time, I want to learn to make beats. What's interesting, and when you, again, on the theme of me getting old, right? So I was looking through some old pictures today of how young I used to be, and now I'm depressed. But it's funny how everything works for a reason, right? So when you're doing engineering, making beats and whatnot, you're basically working on a program that looks very similar to a price chart, right? It looks very similar to a price chart in the way of kind of just it ebbs and flows. Now, obviously, you're not looking at price; you're looking at pitch and volume and stuff like that. But it's very similar. So when you're doing editing, basically you're going through this musical price chart, and you're reading the language of it, right? You're reading the language of it. You're adjusting. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're cutting this. You're cutting that. And I think that played a role into how I kind of view a candlestick chart. How it kind of we always talk about trading as an art and a science. I think it really helped with the art side of it. How you can just kind of see ebbs and flows and trends because you're used to seeing ebbs and flows and whether it's a beat or whether it's an artist's pitch or something like that. I believe that helped. I didn't use Pro Tools. What did I use? Well, I used Pro Tools a little bit. I used gosh, I can't even remember. We had an illegal downloaded version of it, of course. We did have Pro Tools. We had Fruity Loops. We used Fruity Loops. That's a real thing, guys. Fruity Loops. It's a real thing. Pro Tools was a little bit too complicated at the time for me. I was too. I used it. I never invested the time to master it the way you would need to be. Fruity Loops was like the MetaTrader version of Pro Tools. So if Pro Tools was like your eSignal, or even Pro Tools was like your eSignal, Fruity Loops is probably like your NinjaTrader. I wouldn't go as far as MetaTrader because MetaTrader was horrible. But I think partially because I had like the illegal downloaded version of Pro Tools, I think that's what made it more difficult. But I was old school as well. I used to have I started off when I was in high school. I had an 8-track recorder, so I would record it individually on tape. Right, you can pop the cassette in. I would do I would do the bass first or the drums and something like that, and just record that part, put it in, hook up my other instrument, put that part, put it in, and like really really old school before like computers and stuff like that. It was crazy. Wasn't so successful at that, obviously, but yeah, it was fun stuff. Yeah, I loved it, man. I loved making music. I loved performing. Probably the scariest thing on earth. Mainly because no one knows who you are, and everyone that came is there to see the main event. We were always the opening act, so like we were opening up for the rapper Fabulous once, and like everyone's just there and like screaming, "Where's Fabulous?" And we're sitting there like, man, we got 3 more songs to do. And it could be awkward because no one knows your songs, no one knows who you are. It's just you're just there to buy time. But if you do your job well, you bring some energy, and people get up there, they start feeling you. You can really just you can really work off the crowd, and it's an amazing feeling like no other. There is no feeling. Very rarely did it happen, but there is no feeling like being up there and performing, and the crowd vibing with you. It is, I can only imagine, the big artists where they stop singing and the crowd just sings all the words for them. There's no better feeling than that. Now, again, as an opening act, most of the time that doesn't happen. Most of the time there's awkward silence, and you can like look at people as they're looking at their cell phones or having other side conversations. But every once in a while, you get a cool moment. A cool moment. So, fun experience. Scary as heck, but fun. You meet a lot of interesting people. Meek Mill before he was Meek Mill. Fabulous, Rod Digger, Cassidy. You meet some uninteresting people too. You meet some grimy people. But anyway, to trading. Yeah, I wanted to go into music biz. My uncle banned me basically. He kind of saw the writing on the wall before it happened. And that's why he's one of the best in the industry. That's why Interscope keeps paying him more money to keep him, even though he's been wanting to retire for like the last 10 years. But he called the death of like the album and the CD. And he was like, this is a dying industry. Don't get into it. It's not, and it's not dying. It's different now. It's different. Yeah. It's different. He was smart though. He called it. I guess that's, why he does what he does. Internet made it different. Yeah. And just the whole landscape, and it's just different. Yeah, you're not gonna. It's not about album sales. You gotta. Right now it's all about live. You're gonna make your artists make their money off of live performances. Right now. And you gotta think of things in a perspective from a business mind. Is like, hey, I'm producing music not to sell music. Right? That's why you just give it away for free. Because people are gonna get it free anyway, right? What I'm selling is my experience. So I'm producing all this music. So when it's time for me to tour around your city, you're interested in coming to see me live. You can have all this stuff for free, but come here, right? Very similar to what we do with our workshops, right? Think about it. Like, hey, come for this 4-day workshop. Get all of this stuff for free. I'm not hiding anything. There's no secrets. And when you're really ready to learn, come sign up with Tier 1. For a ridiculous price. Yeah, well, they got to make it somewhere now since they're not making enough album sales. I like vinyls as well, yeah. Yeah, and the problem is that whole, I promise this is the last music talk, we'll get to the charts. The problem is with that whole theory now, where it's like people are more concerned with not making art and albums. They're more worried about everyone's rushing just to get one single out. So you just plug in the model, boom, 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 plug yourself in there, boom, 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 and try to release a single as quick as possible with no substance or anything, and boom, there you have it. Instead of actually, like back in the day, people would people would go dark for like years. People would go dark for years and create albums that were like pieces of art. Like I remember, I haven't listened to an album in a while, but like stuff like, I'm a big fan of J. Cole stuff. I'm a big fan of, if you guys remember, Kendrick Lamar's first album, right? Was it Good Kid, Mad City? Kendrick Lamar's first album. Or first real album. First real album. Section 8 was kind of a mixtapey half album. His first big album, let's put it that way, with Interscope. You can literally start it. You can start the album, and you can finish it without realizing a song changed. It was a seamless piece of art. It was a story, equipped with even skits and stuff. It was watching a movie, essentially. It was watching a movie, but from audio. And it was a brilliant piece of art. Instead of just people like that are, hey, random song here, random song here, random song here, random song there. And again, it's different. That's the difference between an artist, a real artist, and just a person that makes music. Music should be an art. It should flow. It should mean something. Aside from just screaming and yelling and making a check. Anyway, happy Fed Day, guys. Happy Fed Day. ISM Manufacturing coming out for the dollar today. What is it? Labor Day over, it says French bank holiday, German holiday, Italian bank holiday. Labor Day over there for you guys? Labor Day? No? Just a random holiday? What is it? Banks just said not today? Yeah, Childish Gambino, super talented, yeah. Banks just said not today. So, ISM Manufacturing coming out for the dollar. Child Week. The heck is that? You guys are so funny. Minibuses, Child Week. Later today is our FOMC statement, our Fed funds rate, FOMC press conference, and then we have some Bank of Canada stuff coming out later today as well. Again, no expected change in the Fed rate, so you don't have to worry anything about that. We're not going to hike rates, or there's a 99.9% chance we're not going to hike rates. But what the market's going to be paying attention to is the FOMC press conference afterwards at 2:30. President Donald Trump wants a rate cut. So there's probably going to be questions about, hey, our president wants this. You guys aren't doing this. How do you look to meet in the middle somewhere? So we could see some movement off of that. But I don't expect any type of crazy movement from the market unless something significant comes out. Now, real quick for you guys who are interested in news, I love this site right here. I've taken you through a few different sites I love. FinViz, Google News, the kind of basic cookie cutter ones. I like going to investing.com and just looking at the article. They do it every day. Top 5 things you should know in the market on Wednesday. It's not always relevant to us, but it kind of gives you an idea of the major stuff coming out. So if you're someone that just wants to be aware of any major news events, and it's typically U.S. based, check it out. You can see number 1, it's Fed Day. Stocks are set to open at new highs. Apple rockets after bad iPhone sales. Crude slips. Uber IPO. That's a good kind of starting point. And obviously you can go and do further research on it if you want. So let's get started today. Let's get it started in here. On the euro dollar. Stopped out of my bat pattern. Yeah, bat pattern yesterday. Rallying up towards that bigger level of bigger zone of resistance. If you guys remember yesterday, we had two zones of resistance, a smaller zone and a bigger zone. The bigger zone was the anticipated zone that we would travel to. Obviously, my bias was that I didn't want it to go there because that would mean me being stopped out of my bat pattern. But it has happened. Now, just to recap, we are setting up what here? Bigger picture. I don't think we need to pay attention to it now, but just on your radar. Yep, potential cipher. And I forgot who asked about this a few Q&As ago. But we had a question in the Q&A, if you guys remember, about when do you place orders on a cipher and blah, blah, blah. I tend not to, this would probably be, this aside from this being a daily chart and we're a million pips away, literally we're a million pips away, right? We're at 112.30s. The cipher completes at 113s. But when you start to see the C turn around, that's a good place you can start looking for. I don't really pay attention while the C is in motion because we can just continue going down. But once we start kind of hooking back towards that B, and especially once we get to that B, that's when I start taking these things seriously. So bigger potential cipher here. A lot of things can happen as well. We could end up seeing a small head and shoulders. If we retest these highs, this is the kill zone we drew in, retest these highs and do something like that. We can even see a bigger head and shoulders if we kind of do something like that. Now, we're not really coming off of a massive directional move, so it's not going to be as good as your normal head and shoulders. But, we've been technically trending bearish, but it's been in a really choppy, drippy type of way. So it wouldn't surprise me to see deep pullbacks, deep pullbacks, deep pullbacks. Lat says, quick question on CTS. Shaw. Would you include an advanced pattern in your CTS if that pattern actually came back negative on its individual test? So if you tested Gartley's and Gartley's showed up to be not profitable, would you still count them in your CTS? I would not, no. I would only, because the point of the CTS is to look for clues that tell you your trade is more likely to be successful than not successful. So the stuff that you have in your CTS, your combined technical scoring system, that's stuff that's supposed to complement your opportunity. So you're looking at structure. Ooh, I know structure is powerful, so let's count that. You're looking at overbought, oversold. Okay, that's a positive sign. Let's add that in there. You're looking at diversions. Oh, that's a good sign as well. Let's add that in there. So to have something that was negative would actually, it wouldn't benefit. It wouldn't give you more reason to take a trade. If anything, and I've never even thought about this, I'd probably just ignore it. If anything, maybe, would you minus points? I don't think you want to get in the habit of minusing points. I definitely wouldn't include it. I don't think you want to minus points. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't include it. No. Because it just wouldn't have any relevance. Yeah, George's like, no one wants to do the math. It's hard enough just to add. You got to take stuff away. Sheesh. But yeah, I wouldn't minus. I wouldn't negative. Subtract. There you go. Subtract. I wouldn't subtract points. But no, I wouldn't count it. Definitely wouldn't count it at all. If it doesn't benefit. Oh, square roots. Oh no. Cubed and squared. Oh, that stuff. Bringing back very bad memories. Very bad memories. All right. So if you're looking for shorts here on the euro dollar, this is your first area to keep an eye on. It's going to be hard for me personally to get a trading opportunity down there because we're going to see, again, another level of structure that we just broke, right? This level right here. And because of that, even if I were to get short here, targets would only be right here because it's that first level of structure. So it's not really an opportunity I can take advantage of unless we're going down to the lower time frames. I was one class away from a math minor, and all that math is now useless. Exactly. The useless things that we learn. Huh. All right, let's go down to the 60-minute. 60-minute time frame. Again, these highs, if you're looking for a structure-based trade, I'd look for these highs up here to be retested. Let's go down to the 15. Now I just play on the computer. Let's go down to the 5. And there's not going to be too much of interest here. Let's go down to the range bar chart. See if this is another, gives us a different story. I didn't have too much on my radar going around the markets this morning. Had a lot yesterday. Okay. So here's something. If you are interested in getting long, here on the 5 range, right? Wait for, see if we can get a move back down to this area, 120, or excuse me, 120, 112.25s. 112.25s. Really that zone you'd be looking for is going to be right around here. If you're looking for a buying opportunity, look for a retracement back into this area and then a move up. Again, we could go higher. We just bounce out to the 15 to 60 a little bit. There is room to go higher here, right? The lower end of this structure is about 112.42s. The upper end is about 112.60s. So you could look for an intraday trend continuation trade, which is counter trend on the higher time frames. That's a valid opportunity in my opinion. Any questions on euro dollar? I know you guys are reminiscing on your days of study and all the cool stuff you learned. These days, you can just go to college on the internet because everything the internet says is true. Abraham Lincoln said that, remember? He was so forward thinking. Yeah. Heck of a selfie. Hard to get that hat in there, though. Hard to get the full hat in that selfie. All right, let's head over to pound dollar. Extra long phone for the hat. Let's go to pound dollar next. Again, you can look for intraday buy on the euro dollar, longer, higher time frame sell on the euro dollar. Let's go to the cable next, starting on the 1 day, right? Pushing up into our descending triangle. We had a level on our radar yesterday. Did not get an opportunity to sell because there were rules that we had and we followed them. We are coming up to the higher point of that level. You can see the tall wicks up in this area, right? 131 even and above. That will be the next level I'd be looking to sell at. If we pass that level, I would have no more interest in selling. Gabriel says 131-ish shorts. More Abraham Lincoln talk. So still an opportunity here on the pound dollar. This was a great example yesterday of just being patient. Those are always fun. And you can see we're slowly drifting up to that level. So we have a nice VS1 at that level, sitting right below the 131 even handle, going up to the highs of that. That's the zone I would look for. That's the zone I would look for a short. Good area to play stops. Good area to play stops. Again, you have kind of the opposite here. You actually have an ascending triangle that broke out in the opposite direction. So you have a nice structure shelf right here. A little bit of concern that we have structure right above it. I mean, that's going to happen all the way up because the way we stair step down. So ideally, you'd have this structure shelf down here, and then there'd be nothing else ever, right? It'd be all-time highs, and you'd have the safest place in the world. But you do have structure shifting up. There's just nothing you can do about that, though. There's going to be no, quote-unquote, best place to put stops. Just get it above your current level of structure. So decent opportunity to keep an eye on for pound dollar. Still looking shorts. We gotta rally up to that point though. Heading down to the 60. Gabby says she's gonna need a 26.18 to take the trade. 60-minute chart. This is where it gets boring. Consolidate it. Broke out. Consolidating again. Same story on the 15er. Similar story on the 5. Just a much worse look at consolidation. I don't know what do you call this? Nastiness. Just nastiness. Questions on a pound dollar? Longer time frame shorts are still on the radar. Maybe we'll see some movement. Again, I don't think we're going to see big movement, but I'm sure we'll see some movement off of today's FOMC statement, right? The markets love to panic. So we'll see something. Maybe that push will get us up there. ISM at 10 o'clock as well. Maybe that push will get us up there as well for the dollar. Euro dollar next. Euro yen, excuse me, next. Fugly. Euro yen next. Again, overall, we're in consolidation. We had a nice little candlestick combination yesterday where we had our bear momentum candle right here. We then had our doji candle. We then had a higher high, higher close. And we're looking at this candle right here. I'm about to call it like a rocket ship candle. It's long tail to the downside. And we're looking for that to be a higher high, higher close. However, we never actually got that higher high, higher close. Never got the higher high, higher close. Or right here, excuse me. So now we're just stuck. Now we're stuck. So let's get down to the 240. See if that clears anything up. This was also a nice 26.18 opportunity. Boom. Not your traditional double bottom, but gets the job done. Long-tailed candle came down to the 618. And now we're kind of just doing nothing off of that. Head down to the 60. Head down to the 15. Ba, ba, ba. Head down to the 5. Dun, da, da. What do you guys see? Do you see what I see? All right, let's go to pound yen. On the 1 day. Again, busy day yesterday, slow day today. Pound yen on the daily. Bouncing off our structure lows here. Bouncing off our structure lows. Rallying up, hopefully rallying up forever. Cody says Head and Shoulders could be setting up on the 15 at that support level. Euro yen or pound yen, Cody? I'm not sure if I switched over before you typed that in. Dollar Canada. Cody's looking at dollar Canada. Looks like it's forming a bearish descending triangle on the daily. I'm not looking at it as one. Because you have these. These are basically even. And this is rising. So I'm not seeing it as one personally. But the fact that we have a structure shelf, and if we keep putting in lower highs, it's going to give us the same type of message, where the market is able to push down to the same level. However, each time the bulls try to push up, they're pushing up with less and less strength. That will give us the same type of signal, same type of prediction on the market. I have a huge wick on this pair on the hourly. Do you have it, Coach Chris? This morning I did not have the wick. I can see what you mean. Lower high. Those lower highs can determine. That's weird. All right, let's go down to the 4 hour. I'm lost in conversation. 4 hour chart. We saw a big bullish momentum move yesterday, helping us out with some profit. Was that 54 pips, 64 pips, something like that? And now we're starting to slow down, right? Steep slope, shallow slope. Steep slope, shallow slope. Shallow slope coming in right in at level of previous structure resistance. Look at the wick of this candle. No surprise that we once saw a fight back then in the day. No surprise that we're seeing a fight right now. Now, selfishly, I would love to break out of this level because we are hovering right below secondary targets. And by right below, I mean like, 40 pips below? It's the pound yen. 40 pips is like 4 pips. But it looks so close, doesn't it? I believe 145.83s, I think, are my secondary targets. Yeah, 145.83s, 82s, 83s, somewhere around there. And it looks so close, and you look at it, you're like, that's like 100 pips away. But, the pound yen does pound yen things. But wouldn't be surprised if we saw some type of relief. Now, if we are going to see relief, where would I expect relief to come to? Probably a retest of this level of structure right here at 145. Basically, the start of that slope and a previous level of structure and an even-handled number and probably a 3D2 retracement. I don't like the arrow thing. I like the 3D2 retracement. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Funny. Is that Pepto? Or no, Rolaids spells relief. I'm going with Pepto-Bismol. All right? No, there's no fizz in Pepto-Bismol. No. That's the pink stuff. That's the other one. It's not Rolaids. It's the only other one I think of. Rolaids? That's the one where they spell it out. Rolaids spell relief. I'm picturing it because they're putting the thing into the water and it fizzes up. I can't think of the name. Anybody? Alka-Seltzer. Boom. Got it. Before you typed it in, Bill. Before you typed it in. Oh, yeah. Me and Bill win the prize. What do we get? What do we get for this mindless? I'm a competitor, man. Everything's a competition. I couldn't spell it to save my life. You get a relief leg down. Okay, there we go. There we go. Man, I haven't. Do they still make Alka-Seltzer? Is that still a thing? I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, so I haven't seen a commercial. Only commercials I pay attention to are the ones where if you take this, it brings you more harm and more possible setbacks than what it cures. I just love those. It's like, do you have a stuffy nose? Please take Nose Unstuffer. Side effects could be brain damage, cancer, instant death. If you see a red rash forming around your chest, please call your doctor immediately. I love those things. It's like, all right, well, but I can breathe now. I'm dying in 14 other different ways, but my nose is clear. And then you take another pill to clean up the instant death and the brain damage, and side effects may be stuffed nose, and now you're back where you started. Pill popping. And that was the time I would insert the humming beat to the D12 pill song, but I can't remember how it goes. Oh, wow. This is, first week. This is non-farm week, isn't it? Not that we care. You can see how much I care about non-farms. First Friday, right? Non-farm. I forgot it's a new month. Yeah. ADP in 2 minutes. Unemployment tomorrow. Non-farms. Non-farms so 2013. Not even 17. So 2013. All right. So you can see the relief here. Seriously, if you're looking to take advantage of this pattern formation, guys, you're getting a very good sign right here. I mean, look what we have here, right? What do we have here looking left? Back to business here, right? What do we pay attention to this type of stuff? Yeah, structure. Again, if you're supply and demand people, you can look at this big candle. You can call it a supply zone. Again, I don't really try to get into that, but I'm trying to do a little bit more because I know Nick loves it. Nick loves it. Some other people love it. And it is relevant. I just think it's confusing to some people. But more importantly, what is the reaction when we're at this level? Look at that. Does this not tell you a story? Look at the flick of the wicks, right? Look at the wicks up there. Yeah. Test, rejection, test, rejection, test, rejection. Lower, low, lower, close. Right? That would have been the entry right there, in my opinion. That would have been the entry right there. Now, whether you can get a good trading opportunity out of this, I don't know. ATR is 13. So if we're hiding an ATR above this is 145.83. And I know some of you guys are thinking, some of you guys are thinking, well, Keel, why would you say it was a good sell? Price action is going up, right? Because we don't really care about what's happening. We want to be honest with us, right? We talked about this yesterday when we did that little trade review. We want to be honest, right? If I were looking at this live, and I were looking to sell this, right? This would be an appetizing sell. What matters next is irrelevant. We can't base what we would have done off of what's currently happening. But this would have been a good sell. Now, again, whether you would have gotten the risk reward, I don't know. That may be a little bit tough. You're looking at a risk of about this. Probably 1-to-1, perhaps, if you're into that sort of thing. Risk is going to be there. Reward. Now, this is tricky because you have all these wicks down here. But if we're going off of this inside level of structure, that 145 that we talked about, and you're probably just getting about a 1-to-1 at that level, maybe a little bit less. So not your greatest risk reward, but it's not negative. Not negative. So let's go down to the 15-minute. Maybe you get a double top or something up here. Obviously, the 15-minute chart will give you a smaller average true range as well. Again, secretly, I'm hoping that we just continue to pop to the outside. Here. Let's go down one more time for him to the 5. Pop to the upside. Pop to the upside. Come on, baby. You have a small cipher in here. A mini cipher. So small. Oh, it's a cutie. Look at that. It's such a cutie. Look at that cutie. There you go. Small cipher in there. A little cutie. So, if you're able to go down this low in a time frame, you could perhaps use a cipher as an entry reason to get involved in this trade. No, more than 3 pips. I'm going to say 5 pips after front running. It's the pound yen, right? It's got to be at least 5 pips. Entry at 145.60. Target 1 at 145.52. If you front run and you're 145.58, you're looking at 155.54. 4 pips. But don't forget, you probably have a larger spread on the pound yen than on other pairs. At least I do. So the best case scenario for target 1 is break even. So George Gebra says, pound yen in ciphers, yuck. Pound yen in ciphers, yum. All right. Any questions on the pound yen? Let's take a quick look at a range bar chart. Euro starting to retrace, by the way. I should measure that. I don't think that's a cipher on euro. It actually could be, but I'll go back and check. So you see pound yen, a slightly different picture here on the range bar chart. Not as much as of that. Well, I guess you still have that rising channel, but you see a lot of those wicks are eliminated. So you can actually, if you're looking at this on the range bar chart, I would actually look at this a little bit differently. And I see two trading opportunities. One would have lost, one would be in progress. You guys see it at all? Nick says you're not looking for the double top on pound yen 5 minute. I'm not, no. I don't see it as a double top. I was trying to look for a double top, to be honest with you. I thought we'd see one, but I don't see it as one. Yeah, so two things you could have done here, right? Now, I don't know this pattern, so I don't know what it does, but this is called a megaphone pattern. You can also call it a dragon's beak. I just made it up, but that sounds better than a megaphone pattern. Dragon's beak. Especially with Game of Thrones going on. I mean, look, think about it. I mean, what sounds better? Hey guys, Keel here just took a megaphone on pound yen, or Keel here just executed a dragon's beak. I think the latter sounds better, but anyway, you have this dragon's beak right here, which is essentially this. Here's what I'm looking at. So forget the whole dragon beak thing. Looking at consolidation, right? And we broke down to the downside, right? So if you're looking, this is an aggressive way to trade, right? Very aggressive way to trade. If you're looking for the first chance to hop on a downward trend, you're looking for this pullback and a chance to go lower. Does that make sense? Spitting up out of the dragon's beak, right? Now, probably would have been stopped out. I don't know where you would have been taking targets at, but probably lower. Probably would have been stopped out. Now, this is a chance where you would use that Fibonacci inversion technique, where you take that Fibonacci extension tool, swing low to swing high backwards, and you can see, boom, you can't, I got to change my colors here, but we came right to what? What magic level did we come to? The 1618 Fibonacci extension. Again, very, very tricky technique. This is not wouldn't be well, starting point, new structure low. Yeah, it would be a way to use it. Typically, you want to see this after, typically you want to look for this after an extended trend. So this, in real time, this probably wouldn't be the situation you'd want to use it in. You want to look for at least for me, I want to have confidence in a trend before I use it. Because the whole point of the Fibonacci inversion is basically the market tricking you to think that the extended trend is over when it's really a little bit of relief, and then boom, it's back on like Donkey Kong. This one's kind of, we technically have a trend, but it's only the beginning of it. So I was able to catch it because my eyes saw that it was a 618 inversion. But now that I think about it, you in real time probably wouldn't have looked to do this at all. It would have been a little bit too risky. But if you were, that's how you use that Fibonacci inversion technique. And I tell you, it's like magic how it comes to this 1618, man. It's like magic. I've got the magic in me. So, but more importantly, again, you would have been stopped out of this one for whatever loss. But if you win on this one, it should have made up for it. Gabriel says, that conflicts with my plan, so I ignore it. Perfect. All right, euro dollar retracing. I said I would measure this just to make sure to see if we have a cipher or not. I didn't think we did in the higher time frames. I thought we eyeballing it looks like we closed about the 1,414, but I feel like I should, because I could be wrong, and I'm not wrong. Perfect. Yeah, I didn't think we did. It looks more like a 1-to-1 measured move. but part of me wasn't. It was bothering me, and just wanted to make sure. All right, so that's the Dragon's Beak for you on pound yen. Yeah, again, I don't see a double. I don't see a double top here. I look at this more as consolidation. This doesn't stand out to me. I see what you guys are mentioning though, and it could just be because I'm seeing it in hindsight. But I don't. I would see. I tell you what. I would see. Not even. I guess in real time. Yeah, I would see this as a double top in real time. I'm not too convinced with it, but I suppose, yeah. It's not clear. But any questions on pound yen? Go up, please, pound yen, please. We'll do one more pair, then we'll take our break. One or two more. We have the ADP come out at 8:15. Cody, was that it? That's usually an 8:15 number, isn't it? 8:15 news event. Yeah. Did it affect the market? Any movement in the market? Is the fib inversion the same as the fib extension? Yes. The fib inversion is just using the Fibonacci extension tool backwards. Reverse, right? So you're just taking it, instead of going left to right, you're going right to left. Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it right now. It's an advanced technique that I really don't think many traders use at all. But it could be valuable. I like it in my day trading. That's really the only time I use it for trend trading. All right, let's go to dollar yen next. Latch made some demo money, some demo bucks on the yen. Well done. This is not the chart I wanted it on. I want it on this chart. I gotta change the color or something. All bucks matter, yeah. Especially those Milwaukee Bucks picking up a nice win yesterday. The Greek Freak. That alien, that extraterrestrial. Remember, I saw a picture of this guy grabbing the rim while his feet were still on the ground. He's an alien. He belongs in Avengers. Which we did end up seeing last night. You know what? I tell you guys all the time. I like to go to the movies during the day because no one's there. The movie was still packed, man. Theater was still packed. And someone was in there smoking the weed. I caught a whiff. Chris says, thought it was a letdown for Endgame. You know what? I had things in perspective. Here's what I thought. We're not going to spoil it. I'm not a spoiler at all. I had someone tried to spoil it yesterday. I told someone I saw it, and they want to have a full. We're in a with a big group of people, and they want to have a full conversation about it. I'm like, no, don't talk about it. You can't talk about it. I'm like, come on. We got to give it. My rule is give it at least a month. But she's like, she wanted to talk about it all the time. She's like, well, what'd you think about this? I'm like, shh. But here's my opinion on it. I'm not spoiling anything, but just I understood that there was no way it can possibly live up to the hype. There's no possible way it could live up to the hype. Because in my opinion, it was probably the most anticipated movie ever. Would you guys agree? Probably, right? I mean, these days everything is skewed because the numbers are different, but probably the most anticipated movie ever. Ever. Like I know Black Panther got broke a bunch of records and whatnot, but I think this was more anticipated just because of the series. So you got to go in with the expectation that I don't think there's any way it can live up to the hype. Whatever it was going to do was going to fail. Not fail, but it wasn't going. There's no way it could be as good as your mind thought it was going to be. I thought it was solid. I thought it did a good job of wrapping things up. One day, and I heard someone did this. I think it was called the Marvel Challenge. You watch every movie. I forgot how long it took the person. You watch every movie back to back to back to back to back to back to back. That's something I'm going to do when I'm old. I'm going to do that for Star Wars. I'm going to do that for Lord of the Rings. I don't think I'm going to get through Lord of the Rings. I tried that before. That first episode just drags. But I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to watch all the Marvel movies. I think it's going to take me like 3 days. Just watch them all back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Because I haven't seen all of them. So I just love how they piece together the storylines and they tease you just with just a bit. Just a bit. Come on, DC Comics. Step your game up. Tried that with Star Wars. Yeah, I haven't watched the new Star Wars. I'm scared. I'm gonna wait till my kid's old enough to want to enjoy them. I'm scared. I don't like when they. I was such a big fan of the original Star Wars that I'm afraid it's gonna ruin it for me. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to have a. I want to keep my childhood memories of like this being the most awesome thing ever, like The Matrix. Like Matrix, like Breaking Bad. Like I'm glad they ended Breaking Bad. It leaves a good taste in my mouth. I don't want stuff to drag like Sopranos. I don't want stuff to drag on until I just get bored with it. I don't like watching series and movies when it's like they're old and they're on their deathbed, and it's like, man, just end it, man. Like Lost. Lost got like that. I was cool with Lost, and then they went 7 more seasons. It's like, all right, man, you're just out of control now. Like God, the devil, island, time travel. Huh? It got weird because they kept dragging it on. Monster, yeah, it got weird, man. It was like, just tell me why they're lost. Just kill everyone or save everyone. One of the two. I don't mind. But it got weird. So I like stuff like that. Then you just you don't, it doesn't say like Breaking Bad, like a little disappointed in the ending. Sopranos I thought dragged on a little bit, but like Breaking Bad, little disappointing in the ending, but it ended and I have a very good taste in my mouth. It didn't get like stale. So I like stuff like that. Matrix, 3 and done. Boom. Yeah, Smoke Monster. I believe the Matrix is real. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine sitting in my pod in this fake reality. This fake reality is a lot better than the real one. You see what they were eating? You see what they were eating in Zion? That mush? I like my fresh fruit. I like my steak. I want to eat mush and slop. I like this world. There we go. You guys can't name who said that, who screamed that out. Tikal. Avatar's good, yeah. All right, let's go to dollar again here on the daily. Now that we got our second round of nonsense out. I kind of do that on purpose, guys. And we like to have fun in here, but I do try to understand how much content we can take in at once. Really, after about, again, like 25 minutes is when the attention span starts dropping. So I try to time it so every 25 minutes or so we get off on some weird rant just to kind of do like a pattern interrupt for you guys. So if you guys are new, half of it is nonsense, but it's planned nonsense in a way. Yeah. Go watch Street Food then, new series. Big Short. Big Short was I really loved that movie. You guys ever see The Big Short? Keel, we like the nonsense more than the trader. I loved The Big Short because I've got a dumb brain. All right, you guys know that. I like simplified stuff. I project that in my style of teaching. I am straight man brain. Straight dumb man brain, not smart man brain, dumb man brain, right? And obviously being a real estate investor, I was aware of the housing stuff that was going on, but I never really knew why or what like was causing it. So what I liked about The Big Short is that like they would talk all this confusing house stuff, right? And then they would take these breaks and just like break it down into dumb man brain version. I love that so much. Cause I was like, oh yeah, okay, now it makes sense. But I love that movie. It's gonna happen again. Yeah. That was my favorite part, Nick. I didn't quite get that part, so I had to rewind it a few times. I didn't even pause it to think about it because I just wasn't understanding. It's for educational purposes. Please, please don't unpause it, please. I love that idea. Bringing random celebrities. Uh, ooh, with a W. The documentary on Bitcoin, banking on Bitcoin, was good too. Does that talk about all the people that got on Bitcoin and lost all this money, or is it like a? Oh yeah, sucks for them. Oh no, okay. We have two different conversations on here. We. Oh, the idea behind Bitcoin. Gotcha. I might check it out then. I may check it out. All right. Dollar yen daily. Still waiting for a. No, I'm not waiting for anything here on dollar yen daily. I'm not. We could look for a retracement down into that white box, 111 even. Have you guys been paying attention to the USDT news? No. What's happening? Lots of libertarianism in Bitcoin. Let's go down to the 240 real quick while we're waiting on our news update. So again, yeah, not really much watching here on dollar yen. I would say a move down to structure, that lower VS1 level, would be a good place to look for buys. I just don't think there's any relevant place to shoot for targets at. I don't see any. Even if we were to go down there and get a buying opportunity, aside from maybe a very lower time frame, I don't see any way to look for targets there, or look for targets on the way up, I should say. Let's go down to the 60. Where did I put you? Here you go. I'm basically a libertarian. Bitcoin is great for that space. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was this libertarian Bitcoin kind of relationship. It makes sense thinking about it. Yeah, it makes sense. Bitcoin exists. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know it. Yeah, I mean it makes sense with like free market and manipulation and having something that actually stands for something. I mean that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I never even thought about it. And black market dealings, that too, or was it dark web dealings in Bitcoin? Yeah, libertarians are all about the dark web, right? Dark. What was the stat? Any of you tech guys? What percent of the web is the dark web? It's kind of scary. 97% of the web is the dark web. Sheesh, man, it's like a whole new world. It's a whole new world I don't know about. And all 100% of Facebook. Man, I don't like this. I'm scared of the dark web. Why is it so dark? Somebody turn a light on. Most of it is not best. So what is it then? Why is it what part of the dark web isn't dark? I'm just thinking like illegal exchanges and stuff like that. Is that the dark web? What's the good part of the dark web? Oh, so it's just not regulated? That's not too dark then. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Now I'm a little let down. I'm thinking the dark web, just a bunch of illegal exchanges and all this stuff. And yeah. Okay. I'm fine with that then. Yeah, so the part of the web that the government can't make money off of. All right, let's get on the 15-minute chart in euro, dollar, yen. We'll go ahead and take a break. I want to be part of the dark web. Ooh, George said I had over 100 Bitcoin. Have? Oh, man, I want some dark stuff, man. Give me the dark stuff. All right, nothing right here on dollar yen. Any questions before we take our first break? George, you the one that sold your Bitcoin for a pizza? Were you that person that sold all that Bitcoin for a pizza? No? You sure? Sucks for that guy. Can we run through the current pair in 15 minutes? Sure. What would you like to see, June? What questions do you have on the 15? See you, Chris. Just the process here. Yeah. If you can be more specific, process of what? I've got nothing here on the dollar yen, but if you let me know what type of process you're looking for, I can help you out with explaining whatever it is you need help with, or whatever type of trade you would need an example of. Just a general example as a day trader account. Okay. Yeah. Well, again, it's hard. It's hard. There's nothing here. That's the problem. There's no trade to be explained on the dollar yen here. There were when we looked at the euro dollar. There were when we looked at what was it, the pound dollar or the pound yen. But there's nothing. I don't know what to explain for you. There's nothing. There's just nothing here on the chart. I don't know if someone else can help me out, and maybe I'm reading the question wrong. But there's no counter trend trading opportunity here. If you can look to buy at structure support, perhaps if you're a counter trend trader. Price action went, or RSI went oversold down here. You can look at maybe a retest of structure and buying it in anticipation of a move back up to 111.54. But I honestly don't see any reason to expect that price is going to go up there. So there really is there's just nothing of relevance in my opinion on this chart. But I feel like I didn't answer something for you. So let me, if you can type it in again, maybe I can try my best. But there's no reason to buy or sell in this chart, in my opinion. I can give you this as a day trading. So from a day trading perspective, right? So if you're looking at a potential move down to 111s, right, the lower level of support on our higher time frame. If you're looking for a move to 111s, you can look for something like this. You can look to see a break and close below this level. So look for the market to do something like this. It'll have to be a very quick one, but look for a break and close below, and then a retest, and then a chance to go down here. That's something that you can look for. So a violation of our lows here, a violation of 111.23, and and then you'll need the market to violate it, but not come down to 111s, because if it comes down to 111s, then the move you've expected has already been made. But then look for a retest, and then look to get involved in a pullback on a retest down to 111. Cool. Yeah, I'm really, here's the thing. I'm really cautious of doing that, because if we want to, we can create a reason to buy or sell at any given moment in the market. I think that needs to be crystal clear. At any given moment in the market, you can create a reason to buy or sell. But is that something that we want to do? No, that's something we don't want to do. So we just have to be honest sometimes. When there's nothing on the charts, we just have to say there's nothing. Because if we sit there and we're bored and we feel like we have to have this quota, like, man, the markets aren't doing anything today, I have to get something, eventually we'll create something. We'll create something where we buy it here and look to sell it up here. But if we really ask ourselves, well, do I think price is going to rally to 111.50s? No. Then why did you buy it? Because I just wanted action. Because it could, possibly. And that's what gets a lot of traders in trouble. They get bored and they want to see something. There's nothing there. Therefore, they go and create something. And when they create something, they're no longer following the guidelines of their trading plan. They're just making something up because it delivers them action instead of delivering them a quality trading opportunity. So you just got to be careful. Again, we can always make something, and I don't want to do that. But sometimes there's just nothing on the chart, unfortunately. And we had two pairs where there was something, and we had a few pairs where there wasn't anything. George is right. Most of the time, there's nothing on the chart. But euro dollar has a quality opportunity. Pound yen had a quality opportunity. Euro yen did not. Pound dollar did not. Not yet, I should say. And dollar yen does not. So let's take 13 minutes. We'll come back and we'll continue around the rest of our pairs. All right, gang, back for round two. So far, we've taken a look at the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the euro yen, the pound yen, the dollar yen. Let's move on to dollar Canada next. USD CAD. We'll start on daily as usual and work our way down. Euro dollar is starting to retrace a little bit. So for anyone looking for that pullback trade, keep your eyes on it, especially if you're using the range bar chart. Dollar Canada, we were looking for a pullback trade as well. We're looking for a move lower and a chance to buy it up, especially as we work closer down towards that 133.40 level. Let's go down to the 240 chart. Christian Bale movies, yeah. And we go down to the 240 chart. You can see we're right at the beginning of that kill zone. We take a look at this blue line. These were our previous structure highs, looking left, right at that red VS1 level. And our previous structure lows are going to be right down here above that 133.40s. Now, again, this is not the optimal place to buy. And what I mean by that is because we do have lower levels of structure. But this is the first area that I'll be looking at if you're interested in getting involved. Now, you notice that we've come down to that level and we have put in a higher high, higher close, right? We've come down. RSI has gone oversold. If I get the right tool going on here. There we go. Oversold. And then we put in a higher high, higher close. We also have an RSI swap as well. Yeah, well said, Gabby. Yep. At this level. But remember what I just mentioned. I mentioned this yesterday. For me, this is not, I don't know what the word ideal means, but because there are lower levels of structure, this isn't an aggressive level for me. We're actually in the beginning of this structure zone. We have structure lower right here. We have structure lower here and keep going down. So what I'm looking for is a more conservative approach. I'm not looking for an aggressive approach such as a higher high, higher close. I really want confirmation that the market is more likely to reverse at this level and not travel lower. And that's the cool thing about as you evolve as a trader, if you're allowed to use different reasons for entries, you can start deciding, hey, I use this as my aggressive reason in my aggressive scenarios. If I'm looking at a more iffy scenario, I can use my more conservative way of entering a trade, and that can balance things out. Meaning trades that your grade A trades, you're in them quick, you're in them aggressively. Your trades that are like, this could be a good opportunity, but there is a little bit of danger here. Now you could be more conservative and wait for more reasons for entry. So we'll see if we can follow up here on dollar Canada, perhaps put in a double bottom, or even get another extension lower. We do have Canadian news coming out today. Obviously, with the Fed news coming out at 2 p.m., 2 and 2:30 p.m. We do have some Canadian news coming out at 4 p.m. as well. Bank of Canada governor is speaking. So you want to take a look at that as well. I don't know if any oil news is coming out today. I would assume so, but I haven't really looked at it. Going down to the hourly, you can see our consolidation here. And then we've started moving towards the upside. Let's head down to our day trading time frames, not the 14-minute chart, but the 15-minute chart. Nick's got to go run through some videos as well. We got to go look at the dollar index. That was a good one. We'll get through these pairs quickly, and then we'll go to the dollar index. Was an interesting one from yesterday. Pullback trade. Oh, he's going to murder some people. Got you. Okay. In that case, then, all good. Murder away. By the way, Tier 1 trading does not promote murder in any way. Just in case. Just in case. Got to put that little disclaimer in there. Except for murder in these markets. Oh. All right. So we're going to go down to probably a range bar chart here of Canada as well. If you're looking for a shorter term buy, you can look for a retest of this structure shelf. For some reason, I'm now reminded of Kill Bill movies, another good series, the Kill Bills. But you can look for a retest of this structure shelf, right? You can see how we kind of bottomed off here. We consolidated. We've created structure, and then we broke below it. We've broke above it. If you're interested in an aggressive type of trade, look for a pullback here, and then a chance to really hop on this trade right now, or hop on this move upwards right now at the pullback. Let's just see what dollar Canada looks like on the range bar chart. Typically, the range bar chart gives us a clearer view. I heard the same thing about Christian Bale. Yeah, I heard he's not a pleasure to work with. So here's a clearer view, and this is why I like the range bar charts. 5-minute chart, you get all this junk, right? All this junk in the 5-minute chart, but you get onto the range bar chart. It's like a baby's butt, just a lot smoother. A little stinky, but a lot smoother. And you can see the clear structure shelf right here. If I can grab my line, there we go. Clear structure shelf right here. We go ahead and we break that shelf. And now we're pulling back in here. So if you're looking for an aggressive way, if you're looking for an aggressive way to enter, I'm laughing at the comments that are going on. You guys are still talking about Christian Bale being a jerk. And there's a video of him yelling at people on set. If you're looking at an aggressive way to enter, this is one where I would look for that RSI swap. This would be one where an RSI swap would be ideal, in my opinion. Waiting for price action to come down. Right? Going directly from an overbought condition to an oversold condition, and then looking to catch that next wave up. This would be a good buying opportunity, in my opinion. Swap it, Gabby. Swap it. I'm just curious real quick, going back to my old RSI days. Yeah, this would be, remember I told you guys about that book that you should never read about using the RSI and not price action? Anybody remember that? All that black magic and whatnot. So this would be a great example of that as we're anticipating, at least. We're not going from one trend to another. We're anticipating going from one trend to another. And I'm just going to just really broadly draw these things on because it doesn't really matter if they're correct or not. But something of interest is this, the fact that we're in this downward move coming here, and then we start consolidating here, right? We start going back and forth and back and forth, right? We break out of that consolidation going overbought here. We hook back below this 50 line, right? That midway point. If we were to hook below this 33 point area and go like that, that would be a signal in there. Going below that 33.3 and then hooking back above, which in a way would be the same thing as, again, looking at what we have on the price chart here, where we come above it, we come back down to retest. Obviously, that RSI swap, right, going from overbought to oversold, would put us below that 33, and then you're looking to catch this move back up for the next move in the trend. So pretty cool stuff. You can use the RSI in many different ways. Many people use it in a single way, just for overbought and oversold reasoning. But RSI and stochastics, I'll typically look for stuff like that more in stochastics and RSI. At least I used to. I don't use stochastics now, just because I don't. Every once in a while, you'll catch me with the stochastics on my chart, but I value the real estate of price. But as you get deeper into your trading, especially if you're a price action trader, don't underestimate the reading the ebbs and the flows. Don't underestimate reading the ebbs and the flows, because all this is a strength indicator. And it gives a lot more information than just buying and selling, or overbought and oversold, I should say. The way it flows from one extreme to the other, what half it stays on. Stochastics is a little bit better with that, staying on a certain half. And by half, it would be that 50% line. Half and then thirds would be 66 and 33. Upper third, bottom third, middle third, or middle half. But a lot of information could be had by that. Probably, I don't know if that'll ever be a future trading lesson, but I'll probably be one of the things that well down the road, if I ever want to dig deeper into teaching the RSI, that's something I would do. Again, though, the goal is, what typically happens is it confuses, because most people don't use it that way, so it confuses people more than it helps them. But it'd be cool for strategy development. I know Latch is using the RSI in a similar way. I've been getting a random sense of the RSI, but no rules or anything concrete on it. Random sense? Nice. You may want to try the stochastics as well, if you don't have any personal bias against it. I like the stochastics for using it that way, because it also has the two lines, so you can use the crossover. It gives you a lot of information as well, where the RSI doesn't necessarily. You don't have a crossover. The stochastics, it gives you that crossover. Just got to make sure you're on the right setting. I used to use a modified stochastic, so it's not your traditional way. But there's a way you can use. Let me just draw on the stochastics real quick for you guys. There's a way. I'm not going to modify it. I'll just do whatever the regular is. I'll make it a different color so you guys can see it. Not sure if it'll look the same way here in a range bar chart, but just make these a little bit thicker. But you can use stochastics for breakout trading as well. People don't really think about it that way, right? So the stochastics, you have these two lines. You can look at it. It's very similar as overbought, oversold. The stats are a momentum strategy. So what a lot of people do is this, right? They'll look at the market going underneath this line, right? Underneath this 20 line, and they assume oversold, right? Would you guys agree? Same with the RSI, right? You assume when it goes under the 20, it's oversold, it's overbought. That means look for reversal. And that's, if you're a counter trend trader, that's key. If you're a trend continuation trader, right? If you're in a high momentum trade, guess what the indicator is going to do, or the oscillator is going to do? Because this is another one that measures strength and momentum, right? So if we're under this 20 level, No, the exact opposite. If we're under this 20 level, it means there's a lot of strength in this trend, right? So we will stay under this 20 level. Look, and look how long we stay underneath there while it's trending down. Yeah. So there's a breakout way to use it as well where you don't look for selling opportunities. And this is more of a trend trading way. Now, I don't do this because obviously the indicator prints after price has printed. As a trend continuation trader, I prefer to get involved. I prefer to be more predictive. I prefer to get involved in a trend up here at the pullback and then exit at a danger, Will Robinson, right? But if you're a true trend trader, you may need confirmation that the trend is continuing. You may not be entering till here. And that's why I say breakout trader, right? You see how we break out of that level? You're probably not entering till a little bit later if you're like a breakout trend trader. But as long as it stays underneath this level, all this shows us is bearish strength. Does that make sense? So the longer this stays here, I mean, you can see, look at this thing just move. And then when we hook up, right, watch that yellow cross that black. That can be a sign for your exit, right? First signal right there, we hook up. And then once we hook above that 20 mark, the low line, you probably can't see it because it's in blue. But there's a low line right here where my crosshairs are at in 20. Once we hook up above that, that's your exit. Boom, exit right here. And you've caught a significant chunk of this move. Now, obviously, it's not that simple. So I don't want you guys going home and being like, oh, I'm just going to put a stochastics on and trade every time it breaks. It's not that simple at all. But to give you a basic concept of how you can use it as a kind of a breakout trend trader, does that make sense? And it's more of an active, again, this is more of trend trading. So you're looking to ride the trend. So you don't necessarily, and I'm sure you can team it up that way as well. You're looking to kind of catch as much as you can out of the move until it reverses. So you're basically trailing stops based off of an indicator instead of structure or price action. You follow me on that? Now, of course, there are many ways you can customize it. You can have a set target area where you say target ones are coming off here no matter what. And I'm going to trail with target twos based off the stochastics, or, I'm going to have a set target no matter what. But if we get a reversal reason before that, then I'll exit, however you want to do it. Let's see what happens here. We may continue it and we go look back above. Now, again, here's the thing. This is why you don't want to just buy it and sell it every time, because now you're like, oh, I should buy it here, Akil, right? Should you buy it here? Stochastics went above 80. Should you buy it? This is where a lot of traders get in trouble, right? Rookie dumb trader looking for the shortcut is going to buy it. Yeah, I'll buy it. Went over 80. Let's go. That's my rookie dumb trader voice. That's what I used to do. But what's the overall trend? Are we bullish or bearish? We're bearish, right? So if you're a trend continuation trader, are you looking to buy right here? No, but stupid dumb trader doesn't know. I shouldn't be calling people that, but that's how I felt. Because again, I was the dummy that was trading a trend continuation trading strategy, but I couldn't identify a trend. So stupid dumb trader Akil will be stuck in this, buying it, thinking I'm trading a trend continuation, not even realizing we're in a bearish trend and this is simply a pullback. So you got to know you still have to know those foundational elements as well. But this is kind of like a topping you can put onto your trading knowledge. But it's an interesting look. I'm not a trend trader. So that's why I never really follow through stuff like this. But that's a different way of using the stochastics. And you can use the RSI in a similar fashion. Again, I like the stochastics a little bit better, and I'll modify it because of the crossing action. But I know it just sparked Latch's interest. Here's another example right here. I mean, you can look at, obviously this is hindsight, so everything's great in hindsight. Let's just take a look at, I think we're in a bearish trend here. Yeah, we're in a bearish trend here already. We consolidate. We actually violated here technically. But you have your double top right here. You got your divergence on your double top. And then again, you wouldn't get involved there, so that doesn't count. You would get involved after this break. This would be the key level you'd want to see break. And Let's see if you were just to hold it until we crossed above. Here's your K over D cross, and then, yeah, so this one wouldn't have yielded you much. But, again, it's not something where you do it every time. Obviously, there's more criteria to it, but it's an assistance to you. So I like the stochastics a lot. I just, many of you guys have seen them in my chart before. I just tend to use one indicator because it makes life easier. But something that I still plan on looking into. And it was actually, here's a funny story. Stochastics, the RSI swap, that originally came from the stochastics. The whole RSI swap thing, yeah. I was testing a a strategy on the stochastics, and that's where I noticed the swap. Yeah, and it was a trend continuation strategy where I was playing. I wish I didn't delete it right now, but I was playing the swap in the stochastics. I was playing when the stochastics went from one extreme to the other, and that was supposed to be my trading strategy. Where it did that. Now, obviously, that in itself didn't work. The trading strategy ended up failing or not being as profitable as I wanted it to be. But I took that nugget out of it, and when I compared the RSI, I saw the same thing on the RSI. But it was originally on the stochastics where I did that. So, there you go. Cool story. I don't know what the point of that was, but it sounded cool. So anyway, look to see if we get some type of pullback here. And we get that RSI swap. Maybe add a stochastics and look for a stochastics wiggle. And there's a buying opportunity on dollar Canada. Questions about the loonie? Latch, close your eyes. You are a shiny object enough. Gabrielle is James Hardening Latch's eyes. James Harden got his eye cut in a game yesterday. I hate eyes. Ugh. Said his eye was bleeding. That's disgusting. Look away, Latch. Look away. I hate eyeballs, man. So squishy. All right, let's go to Aussie dollar next. No, his beard didn't protect his eyes. No. You would think it would. I thought his beard was a force field around everything. Fear the beard. Nice. It's a nice beard. You gotta admit, it's a nice beard. Growing up in Philadelphia, I respect a good beard. I respect a good beard. It is a quality beard. Beard gang. President. Yeah, it's a good beard. Yeah, I give respect to beards. I'll go up to a man and say, "You got a nice beard, man." I have no shame in that. I'll go up to a man and say, "Look, you got a nice beard," with zero shame. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's a pretty mouth. That may send the wrong signals. Jude says, "Are you still doing the push-up challenge?" Nope, that ended in April. It was horrible. It was horrible, but I did it. Yeah, I did it was a cardio challenge. I modified it a little bit because I do a lot of running anyway. So I modified it, but I did like the burpees. Feel like you've improved? Can you improve on perfection, David? Just saying. That's a serious question. I don't know. When you're this perfect, can you actually get better? No, I felt I tell you what, I it's weird because I don't do push-ups. I try not to do a lot of upper body stuff. Because I tend to put on weight. I put on muscle really, really quick. So like if I'm ever in like a bulking session, I put it on, I put it on quick. It's like I'm allergic to the gym. Swell up. As soon as I go in there, swell up. Swole. Right? So I tend to do like one push exercise in the gym. One push, one pull, low reps. Just because I need to keep my strength, but I don't want to get swole. Auto swell activated, yeah. So doing the push-up challenge, I got swole real quick. Because we were doing, what was that? I was averaging like, I started like a week late, a few days late. I think I had to average like 200 a day. So I was happy with that. I mean, I was really swole. And then when we added the sit-ups to it, that slimmed down a little. When men put on weight, we put it on in the midsection. It goes straight to our stomach. That's where men put on weight. Nowhere else except for our stomach. Yeah, just in our stomach. That's where it stays at. So the abs aren't how they used to. So that was good because I always skip cardio. I'm supposed to do cardio or not cardio, core. I'm supposed to do core after every workout, but after every workout, I'm tired. I'm gonna do it later. Yeah, yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, back when we were young, right? I can eat like I can do the 10 for 10 at Taco Bell, 10 for 10 horse meat at Taco Bell, and just abs are still popping. Now it's like I eat like a kid sized candy bar, and like they just disappear that quick. I'm like, wow, like one George is right. One bad day, and it's like, like you look in the mirror, it's like where did it go? So I only look at the mirror when I wake up. I wake up, I drink some water, go handle some business in the bathroom. I look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, I look good right now. Then I eat breakfast and it's all over. I'm like, come on. But no, it was a good challenge. I don't train unless I have something to train for. That's my problem, if you want to call it one. So if I don't have anything to train for, I'm not motivated to train at all. I'm typically training other people. So to have a challenge that kind of kept me, I'm a competitor. I have to win at everything. To have a challenge that kept me going, it's been a pretty good last 2 months. And my foot's better. I had like 2 broken feet, if you guys remember. So that's better too, which I'm happy about. So now I can actually start doing stuff. But I gotta drop some pounds because I'm all muscly now because of the stupid push-up challenge. So now I'm a little bit too heavy to really do what I want to on my feet. But no, it was fun. I like challenges like that. So bring them on as long as they're not ridiculous. I'm not going to do stuff that gets in the way of my training. I tend to go hard in the summer, but I like it. Yep, muscle weighs more than fat. I did a sit-up challenge last week, or last month, 2 months ago. I think that was, I wouldn't say it was, the push-up challenge was worse. I can do sit-ups, man. I can do 1,000 sit-ups per day if I wanted to. The push-up challenge, I mean, man, day 2 of the push-up challenge, guys, because you think about it, if I had to average like 100 and it started off as like 160, and I'd miss a day and it'd be like 180, right? It's not that hard, right? You break it down. I did 25 a pop, like I did 2 segments of 20. So I do like 2 sets of 20 in the morning. That's 40, 2 sets of 20, blah, blah, blah. I would do it like that. And you can bang out a couple hundred push-ups a day. But you pay for it the next day, man. My arms were, sheesh. My chest was, whew. It was tender. I was a little tender. Not gonna lie, a little tender. Tender to the touch. Tender to the touch, man. The sit-ups though were easy though. The sit-ups were, I can do, again, you can overwork your core, I suppose. It's very hard to overwork your core. So you can do sit-ups and different type of core exercises as much as you want. The part of it is just being lazy, like getting on the floor and you're like, But so it was fun. I'm gonna get back in shape this summer. I got 2 more weeks until my busy period ends. It's almost there. We're on the way down. Trump waived Iran sanctions, maybe overextend the profit taking right now, though. 30 days before combat, would do 500 various ab workout sets. Whew. That's right, I forgot you did that, Dave. Yeah. I hate it when one of my earplugs drop. Yeah, I often struggle with finding the right earplug. Yeah, go check out David on Instagram. He's allergic to the gym as well. Swole. Swole. And tender. All right. Aussie dollar. I'm not afraid to call another man tender. Aussie dollar on the daily. Again, we're coming back into previous structure support. We had that nice 3-bar reversal down here. High momentum bearish candle, doji candle, higher high, higher close. Typically, that's a very good reversal signal. Again, it's hard on these pairs, especially with that big wick down there. It's hard to really say, is this the bottom? Is this a true bottom or a false bottom? Are we really more likely to go up than down? And it's tough. A much safer signal would be if we came down and got a double bottom down here. So if we came down and got a double bottom, that would be a much safer signal because it would say not only one hold, but 2 holds. I still think it would be a little bit difficult to predict the move up. But if we did, 71 even seems like a nice level right in here. Right kind of after this rejection and the opening of this previous candle. And of course, 2618 would be an alternative as well. Got to break out the comfort zone, Nick. I'd be nervous too. My friend did one. I think they told him he took it couldn't have been a shot. I think he drank a little bit of alcohol right before he went on stage. Just to kind of get the nerves. I think he said something like that. He did his first fitness challenge a couple years ago. And he was so dehydrated anyway, right? Because you guys can't drink water, the day of or something like that? 24 hours, is that it? It might be more than that. I know he had to stop water, right? You guys would know better, man. I know he said he wasn't allowed to drink water like the day of or something like that, or either day of or 2 days before, because he had to dehydrate his body to kind of, get everything kind of jumping out. Yeah, you get shredded, no water, but I think some will drink right before. Okay. Got to get the skin tight, yeah. Yeah, it's a different world, man. The stuff he originally tried to do it as a vegetarian and didn't work out. He's not a vegetarian anymore, but he attempted it. It was very hard for him to get the protein in, man. Without that animal protein, very, very hard. Ooh, orange juice, apple juice. All right, so if we get a double bottom here, that's an opportunity here on Aussie dollar to buy it up. Let's go down to the 60. 60 here. Did we have a cipher that I missed here? Do we have a cipher on Aussie dollar? What am I looking at, Akil? Oh, no, it didn't change. Okay, never mind. Let's get on to the 15. Yeah, there's not going to be much here on the Aussie dollar. We'll go to New Zealand dollar next. Let me just check the... Yeah, we'll go to Kiwi and we'll hit the trading view up and look at some commodities or whatnot. But there might have been let me just check. There might have been a 15-minute cipher here. I don't know how much profit potential you're looking at here on the Aussie. X to A to B, B to C. Nope, just missed it. Okay, just missed it. Just missed it. So not a cipher. Let's go to Kiwi. New Zealand dollar. Saw some movement in Kiwi yesterday. Let's see what we have here today. Kiwi on the daily. Again, holding previous structure lows. Yesterday we were consolidating, creating a sort of a structure shelf, and we're looking for a break to the upside. If you guys remember this, I said it was kind of like a head and shoulders, but not truly a head and shoulders. And we're looking for a break out of this level and a chance to continue higher. But we did the exact opposite. So that kind of kiboshes that trading idea. So there's not all too much here that we can do on the Kiwi. Let's go to, I suppose you can be on pattern alert here on the 60. X to A to B, B to, didn't quite get there yet. But if we get down there, it could be a Gartley. If we get down a little bit lower with that C leg. Looking at 14 pips of profit though, so not too much there. All right, let's go over to Aussie Canada real quick. And of course, if you guys have pairs on your radar that you want to take a look at, feel free to type it in. As I look to load the trading view, but Aussie Canada. We'll hit up TradingView and look at some of these minor pairs. I haven't been on TradingView in so long. I feel like it's turned to a piece of crap, to be honest with you. Good platform, form-wise, though. It is what happens with every form. So not much on Aussie Canada. Good target one winner. And then we came back down to reality, but made some bucks off of it, which was good. And now there's honestly nothing going on here. Gabrielle says Aussie Canada's that structure. She needs more than a double bottom to look for a buying opportunity. She needs a 26.18. There you go. 26.18, and she's looking to buy. Yeah. We're back to being junk here for me on the Aussie Canada. So this is talking about food. This would be a nothing burger. We've gotten pattern formations, but as far as anything structurally, for me, it's just zero. Nothing of interest. You have a lower, low, lower close here. We've got structure a little bit lower, but structure comes right underneath lower level of structure. So for me, it's just, we'll just wait and see wait for another pattern formation to occur, but not too much happening there. Let's go to the dollar index. Let's see. Yesterday, we were looking for a move down to this level for a potential buy. You could see price action has gotten to that level. Price action has gotten to that level. And if you're looking to buy it up, you need to go down to your lower time frame, if that's what you do, and look for your reason for entry. So decent level to keep an eye on here on the dollar index. Let's go to gold. Maybe the DXY will rise on FOMC minutes, or maybe it will fall. Or maybe it will do nothing. The dollar index is basically, it measures the strength of the dollar versus a basket of currency pairs. I believe it's 6 other currency pairs, with the most weighted of the currency pairs being the euro dollar. So basically, it tells you it's the euro dollar. But yeah, it's how is the dollar performing against other currency pairs? So people would, mostly the euro. I think 60% of it is in comparison to the euro, something like that. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I think it's something like that. Basically, you can use the indexes to kind of to gauge strength. People like using it for correlations, where they'll look at the dollar index and then have an opinion about gold, or look at the dollar index and have an opinion about maybe they're making a blanket investment in the dollar across different currency pairs. They can look at it for that. I think it's cool to, I think it's cool to correlate them. I don't use correlations, but as far as if you're an investor, what I like to do is I'll take these charts and I'll make them line charts like that. So I'll have gold right there, and then I'll have I'll have the dollar index like that, and then I'll have, what else do I want to have? Give me something. What's euro dollar for example, so you can see how that looks like. I'll have that. I'll do that, and you can look for kind of the correlations between the two or three. That'd be easier to see if we're on like a weekly. And if I delete all my data, here we go. And you can look at it and be like, hey, when this happens, right? And what you'll notice if you do it enough times, you'll see different correlations, right? So you'll see the widening of the gap here, right, between the dollar index and gold, or the euro dollar, excuse me. Well, no, gold in blue. But then you'll see times where they're moving the same, right? And that's kind of my whole thing on correlations. They change over time, right? These should deviate, right? They should go opposite directions, but not always the case, but they should. So like stuff like this, where here's a good area right here, right? See how one's going down, up, quote unquote, that's how it should be. But sometimes there are times where they both do the same thing, to be honest with you. But if you're more of an investor, you're looking at something like that, I like using them in that case, just to kind of see what the overall market conditions are, like whether that correlation is playing out or whether they're not correlated. But other than that, I see zero value in it, in my opinion, for what I do. I see zero value in it. No, sir, I don't like it. Yeah. So you would use it. Here's a good example of using it as an investor. So say you're an investor in gold, not a trader, investor in gold. And you see that there is the inverse correlation that's been occurring recently in the market. And you know there is news for the dollar coming out. Right? As an investor, you can use that information. If you've determined that, hey, there's going to be negative news for the dollar coming out, you can use that information to predict how gold is going to react off of that. Does that make sense? Again, not a trader, investor. So when I say investor, you're thinking longer term. You're buying and holding. So like let's say, I plan on buying gold. And there's going to be positive, and the FOMC today, there's going to be very, very, very positive news for the dollar, right? What do we think is going to happen with gold? Again, if there's an inverse correlation, very positive news for the dollar, right? Gold should go down, right? We're based on the correlations. So I'm looking at that as saying, okay, well, this should be a chance for me to buy. So now I'm looking at gold chart and I'm saying, okay, well, this is most likely going to happen. Where would I be interested in buying at? Or obviously from another perspective, if you've been buying gold for a while, all right, you've been buying gold for a while, and now this news is coming out that allows you to predict that, hey, we're probably going to see a decline in gold. Now you say, okay, maybe I want to take some profits out. Something like that. Yeah, and here's where it's not as simple. Nick says, but there is more positive news for gold, or more technicals are strong, then it can override the inverse correlation. Happens all the time. And Gabriel says, that's why it's BS. So, yeah, and that's my whole thing about correlations. It's not that correlations don't exist. I believe they exist, right? They do exist, right? When it rains, the ground gets wet, right? There's a correlation there. But they don't always move the way people expect. And I think a lot of newer traders, they expect it to happen all of the time. This has to do this. This has to do this because of that. And it's like, no, it doesn't, right? I listened to a guy who was predicting that we're going to see strength in gold and the dollar at the same time. And everyone's like, no, that can't be. It's impossible. I know it's happened before. It can certainly be possible. So it's just using correlations as the say-all, be-all. I think they're good information that you can have. Little pieces like a CTS, like it's a piece of your CTS puzzle, but it's not the full thing. George says Nick just started speaking gibberish to me. All right, so let's look at. Meanwhile, gold. Speaking of it, right? Consolidating here on gold, and it's raining outside. Consolidating here on gold. Yeah, really not sure. Let's wait and see what happens. We could be just. I mean, this could be forming just a big pennant pattern. Now we did come at the previous structure high, so I question how much room we have to break out. But this could be a pennant pattern. This could be a pennant pattern that's forming. Before another breakout. Pennant falling wedge, yeah, same thing. Yep, either whichever way. Nick mentioned the other day that commodities have a history of kind of putting in false breakouts, where they gather right below the break and close below, but then continue on their way. So you never know. Would not surprise me if we saw something like that. Oil, we're done with oil. Gangsters. American Gangster, there we go. Another good movie. Denzel. Who Naomi hates, no doubt, because Naomi hates everyone that's good. Hater. New Zealand, Canada. Potential advanced pattern formation. Far away. Far away. X to A, A to B, B to C. C to D would be right up here. I'm just scrolling through randomness right now. Aussie, New Zealand. This could be interesting, Aussie, New Zealand. We have a little bit of a reversal happening here. Where the markets come down, we shift it down. We actually double. Oh, yeah, we double bottom. This is a double bottom, yeah. So 2618 traders, you can look for a 2618. Slight concern that we ran into this structure high already. But I think it's a decent 2618 opportunity. Look for a retest of these highs, 106.40s. That's not a bad level. This was the head and shoulders we looked at yesterday. No follow through from the trading edge video. Euro pound, it's a bunch of junk. Pound Aussie's rallying up in the structure. I'm not sure how much room for opportunity there is because of this spike, but could see a structure hold in this area for you counter trend traders. But that's going to be about it. Dollar Swiss. Any other pairs you guys want to take a look at? 2 o'clock again. Pay attention to 2 o'clock, 2:30, and 4 o'clock, I believe it is. So 2, 2:30, 4 o'clock. Those are the times you want to pay attention to for news-related events. But any questions you guys have before we call it a day? Good chat on the stochastics today. All right. Well, as always, I'll get this produced. It should be up a little bit early today since it's a shorter session. We did almost 3 hours yesterday, 2 hours today. Glad you got value out of it. That's my goal, guys. If you guys that are new watching this or watching on the recording, if we can get a little bit of value out of each day, that's my job. It's not always going to be a million trades. We took some trades yesterday, didn't take any trades today. But if you found something valuable, whether it was, hey, that analysis taught me something, or hey, I didn't know we could use the stochastics that way, or hey, we learned about how Akil is allergic to the gym, then we did our job. So I'll see you guys on the chat. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the live room. Until then, plan your trade your plan. Get out my house.